As you might expect, we'll be making forward-looking statements about our business and financial performance during the course of this presentation. Those statements are subject to risks and uncertainties that are described in our filings with the SEC. Please refer to the full text of the forward-looking statement slide for further information. We ask that you refrain from audio or video recording or rebroadcasting any of the content. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to our Platform Super Session, Splunk, your partner in cloud transformation. My name is Josh Klar, and I'm the Vice President of Platform Product Management here at Splunk. I'm excited to be here today with you, albeit virtually, and I'm thrilled to share with you everything about the Splunk platform. I'm joined today by my colleague Faya Peng, who is Senior Director of Product Management for the platform, and she'll jump in here shortly. Throughout my career, I've seen many shifts in technology and data, but nothing as fast or as large as what I've seen in the past few years. In fact, according to analysis done by Forbes, the amount of data captured, copied, and consumed has increased by 5,000% between 2010 and 2020, with the bulk of that increase driven by rapid change in the last year alone. So with this backdrop, we've seen our Splunk customers accelerate cloud and digital transformations, especially due to the unforeseen challenges and opportunities that have been created by the global pandemic. And for these customers, it has become imperative to have a data strategy that provides clear visibility into increasingly digitized and distributed systems, and also gives them the ability to act on the insights provided by this visibility. By 2022, Gartner predicts 90% of corporate strategies will explicitly call out data and information as a critical enterprise asset, and analytics as an essential competency. With this context, Splunk is the only data platform that can simultaneously serve the multitude of teams tasked with driving this shift across security, IT, observability, and more. And in this rapidly changing world, with data growing everywhere, the mission of the Splunk platform, both for self-managed customers and also in the cloud, is to help our customers understand what's happening across this complex landscape. We believe that your data platform should work to help you not only be successful in your transformation, but thrive as a business with visibility into all your data, wherever it lives, and the ability to make that data work for you at scale. And what we see from our customers is that they are increasing their adoption and usage of the Splunk Cloud platform as a critical part of their data strategies. Splunk customers are getting visibility into and taking action on data at massive scale. We see 3 billion searches every month from over 918,000 active users on petabytes, that's petabytes of daily ingested data. In this context, sources from cloud are growing at 85% year over year. These same customers are taking advantage of the extensibility of the Splunk platform to make their data work for their specific use cases, whether it's using one of the over 2,400 apps available on Splunkbase or by creating their own custom apps. And at the heart of all of these indicators of customer success and adoption is the built-for-purpose platform capabilities that enable our core use cases in security, IT, and observability, as well as a rich extensibility model that allows our users to gain insights that are only constrained by their imagination. We'll have more on that later. So for today, I'd like to provide a roadmap for the rest of the session, where we're going to showcase some of the innovations that we think you might be interested in learning about. First, we're going to talk about how we're helping you get end-to-end visibility into your data, wherever it's generated, from edge to cloud. Then we'll dive into some new features that enhance your ability to deeply investigate and take action on that data, wherever it sits. And then finally, we'll share some new ways to deploy and customize Splunk in a way that works for your unique business needs. And honestly, this is just going to be the tip of the iceberg. Make sure to check out the What's New in Splunk Cloud Platform session for even more details. Okay, so let's dive in, starting with, how do you get end-to-end visibility into the data you need? From the early days of Splunk, getting data in, or GDI, has been a critical aspect of delivering the right data for visibility, investigation, and action. As data locality has proliferated, formats have evolved, and volumes have grown, customers need easy access to this data in the right place, in the right shape, and at the right time. And to support this, we are excited to announce 2 new capabilities for addressing cloud data and working with data in motion before it ever gets indexed. That's right, before data gets indexed by Splunk. First, we're announcing Cloud Data Manager. It's a modern, simple, and scalable GDI experience for automated cloud data onboarding. And second, Ingest Actions gives you the ability to take action on data in motion to redact, filter, and route data either to Splunk or to AWS S3 storage. All right, I'm tired of talking, I'm tired of slides, so let's dive in and look at this product in action, starting with the Splunk Data Manager. Let's open up Data Manager from within my Splunk Cloud instance. I can see one data source is already flowing in, but I want to add a new one. Let's click on Add New Data, and from this screen, I have the option to add data from AWS, Microsoft 365, and there are more sources on the way, like Azure, Google Cloud Platform, and other SaaS sources. For now, let's select AWS as my cloud data source and go through the simple setup steps. On the first screen, I'm going to identify which AWS sources I want to add, and specify that I want to collect data for a single account or multiple accounts. In the next screen, I'm providing my AWS account info, along with the regions from which I want to collect data. And once I've inputted this information, Splunk Data Manager now provides me with a simple CloudFormation template that I can run within my AWS console. Once I run that template, data will start flowing directly into Splunk Cloud. So now I can navigate back to the Data Manager homepage, where I can see that my new configuration has been deployed and that data is now flowing. For customers that need to onboard cloud data sources like AWS or Azure, Data Manager is going to make their life so much easier. It is really 3 clicks to data. Now, let's look at ingest actions to see if we can clean up and also filter noise out of some of the logs that I don't need immediately in Splunk. One of my favorite chatty data sources to look at is syslog. To set context, what I want to do is redact the usernames that I'm seeing in my syslog data, because I don't want that sensitive data showing up in any storage system. And for events that have this redacted data, instead of sending it to Splunk, I want to send that data to AWS S3. While I need this data for compliance purposes, I don't need these records immediately for my daily investigations. So let's start by looking at some of the data I already have indexed. I can see usernames in clear text, but I'd like to redact them using a regular expression. So I'm going to add a rule for that. Now, since I don't need this data to be hot in Splunk, I want to route this data to AWS S3, just in case I need to dig into them later. You can see that with this action, I've filtered out over half of the events. Let's deploy this new rule set and finally log into S3 and validate that my archive data is stored for future use if I decide I need it. Our early ingest actions customers are super excited about these capabilities, and they love that it's included with the Splunk Enterprise license. With ingest actions, you don't need to buy additional tools to filter, redact, and route data. It's built right into Splunk. I'm going to say that one more time. No additional tools are required to filter, redact, and route data. It's just part of your Splunk Enterprise license. In addition to these great new GDI features in Splunk, we are continuing to innovate to ensure that the Splunk platform provides cost-effective indexing and storage options for all of your data. To support this, we've added 2 new capabilities to our already robust storage and value-based pricing tiers within the Splunk platform. First, for Splunk Cloud customers, our new Flex Index allows for cost-effective ingest, search, and storage for lower value data that may have long retention periods and is used primarily for historic forensic investigation and compliance queries. And for our self-managed platform customers running Splunk Enterprise in Microsoft Azure, we've added Smart Store support, allowing Splunk Azure customers to grow to even larger scale while controlling storage costs. With the introduction of Flex Index and Smart Store for Azure, along with our existing S3 data routing capabilities, we have rounded out our tiered indexing and storage options, providing value-appropriate coverage for all of your data tiers. On the topic of value, we continue to see customer love for workload pricing. We've expanded our coverage to make it available for all Splunk Cloud customers. With workload pricing, you can gain ultimate flexibility and control over your data and costs. No longer do you pay for the data you ingest, but instead for what you want to do with that data and the corresponding value received. We've also made workload pricing easier to manage within the Cloud Management Console. We've introduced a series of dashboards that allow you to analyze and optimize your Splunk Virtual Compute, or SVC, usage by a variety of factors, including source type, scheduled or ad hoc searches, apps, and users. We believe visibility into data of all tiers is crucial to our customer success, especially when customers are on transformative journeys. Our customers are tackling some of the biggest industry challenges while reimagining how they run their businesses through digital transformation. And Splunk is the data platform, no matter where you are in your cloud journey. Self-managed, managed in the cloud, hybrid, or fully as a service. Moving from self-managed Splunk to our fully managed offering, Splunk Cloud Platform, is an increasingly important decision for many of our customers. And we're doubling down to help you make sure this move can be done with confidence and support. The Splunk Cloud Migration Assessment app analyzes your unique environment to help you prepare for a smooth transition to Splunk Cloud. And we recognize that not every customer is the same, and we're always here to help you realize your cloud strategy. If you're considering an upgrade to Splunk Cloud, please make sure to bookmark the Customer Success Super Session to learn more about every avenue Splunk is making available to help you be successful. Our customers are finding increased business success as they adopt Splunk Cloud Platform, gaining much-needed capacity and agility to tackle their most pressing business needs. In fact, earlier this month, I had the pleasure of sitting down with one of these customers, Brent Ball from Takeda Pharmaceuticals, to learn more about his unique journey. At Splunk, we're lucky enough to work with thousands of customers every year who are trying to harness the power of their machine data. This could be terabytes or even petabytes of data a day. Getting insight from that data, learning meaningful actions to take, and then responding. Essentially turning data into doing with Splunk. We're lucky enough to have one of those customers, Brent Ball from Takeda Pharmaceuticals, join us today. Welcome, Brent.
Thanks, Josh. Thank you for having me.
I'm really happy you're here. I'd maybe love to learn a little bit more about your journey with Splunk at Takeda. How long has Splunk been either at Takeda or Shire, and how did you get started with your use of Splunk?
So we recognized several years ago that we needed to bring a lot of disparate platforms and information into one central location in order to be able to react to threats and the ever-evolving threat landscape. Shire Pharmaceuticals was already leveraging Splunk Cloud because we were evolving our company at a very rapid pace. Shire had acquired a company, Baxalta, which more than doubled the size of the organization, and we knew that we were on a journey to continue growing. Splunk Cloud allowed us to be able to rapidly expand our use case without having to invest in infrastructure and on-premises technology. Takeda was leveraging a on-prem solution of Splunk, but with the acquisition of Shire, wanted to be able to take advantage of the cloud in order to connect other areas of the business together in a global reach.
As a Splunk customer, I know that one of the transitions you went through recently was moving from a self-managed instance of Splunk Enterprise and kind of expanding your footprint in Splunk Cloud. For customers that are considering such a transition, I'm wondering if you have any advice to them, key learnings that kind of helped you be successful in that process.
Yeah, absolutely. The cloud can be a little overwhelming, especially if you haven't been leveraging cloud as part of a transformational initiative. At Takeda, we actually have a digital and data strategy that we've been implementing over the last several years. When we moved to Splunk Cloud, my experience has actually been very phenomenal. We leveraged Splunk professional services to help us build a solid foundation because we knew we were building something special.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. So you said one of my favorite buzzwords, which is data strategy. And it sounds like as you were thinking about Splunk, you're thinking about Splunk in the terms of a larger data strategy at Takeda. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, we were starting with security as our initial use case for Splunk, but we knew that once we built that solid foundation and we started bringing data together globally, that it was going to be leverageable by many other teams inside the organization and help them do their jobs.
Got it. So part of your goal was to make sure you had that solid foundation, but also kind of the right tools for the job and access points for a broader set of user bases.
That's exactly correct, Josh.
On the topic of cloud transformation, are there things that you've been able to specifically accomplish as you've transformed Takeda to a cloud company, and how does Splunk fit into that strategy?
Leveraging Splunk Cloud has allowed us to bring a lot of disparate platforms and the data that they provide all together into one place. So not only do we get the value of the information in a single pane of glass across the organization at a global scale, but we also can connect all of that data together in order to gain additional insights that were previously untapped.
Yeah, that's great. On the topic of kind of putting more data to use and more data into Splunk, I know that, like many of our cloud customers, you've started to take advantage of what we're calling workload pricing, which is essentially instead of charging based on the amount of data you put into Splunk. It's really trying to align with the consumption and value received from Splunk. Can you share kind of how workload pricing has changed the way you think about the data you experiment with or the types of data you put into Splunk?
All data is not created equal, right? And all data is not accessed as frequently. So what we want to make sure is that we have different areas in the organization that are leveraging information that they're contributing to the greater good at the appropriate level. Some areas that are collecting information more for compliance reasons may not be accessing that information as frequently. We want to make sure that we're not creating a burden for them that isn't commensurate to the value they're receiving on a daily basis.
Yeah. Now, this is kind of something we see a lot with customers, is this idea of the tiered value of data and making sure that you've got kind of the right structure for that low value data that maybe you need for compliance reasons, and maybe that hot data that you need to search all the time. And that was really one of the goals with workload pricing, is let's make sure we can support those broad range of use cases. So I'm glad to see you're getting advantage from that. Maybe tell me a little bit more about who's using Splunk in the organization today.
We have quite a few areas that are using Splunk on a regular basis. So as I mentioned, we started using Splunk primarily as a security use case, but our application monitoring teams began using the platform in order to understand application performance. Our infrastructure team then started using Splunk in order to be able to understand how our infrastructure is performing, where we have overutilization, underutilization, making sure that we're getting the greatest value out of the investments, both cloud and on-premises. Our network team is leveraging Splunk in order to understand how our network is delivering value back to the organization. And then I mentioned we have badge swipe information. There's so many use cases that we're continuing to build on. We're not done with our journey. We're in the middle of our journey right now. When we first went to the cloud for Splunk, we had a relatively small environment. It has expanded. I would say it has exploded fivefold over the last several years, because as we show value, right, then more people are coming to the table and saying, hey, how can I get involved in this? And how can I get value out of this platform as well?
That's great to hear. More people wanting Splunk. So essentially it sounds like with Splunk and these disparate data sources, you're now in a position where you can kind of glue them all together, and your users, instead of spending time trying to put everything together on their own, they get that single view and they can turn data into doing.
That's right, Josh. Historically, data was in disparate platforms, and we had to go access that information in different places. With Splunk, we're actually able to bring all that data into one store, and we are able to quickly access the information, pull out the meaningful insights, and provide those to people that can take action.
That's great to hear. It's great to hear your success. I really appreciate you kind of spending the time with me today, sharing your stories of your journey with Splunk, your journey to the cloud. And I really appreciate the partnership between Splunk and Takeda. So once again, thanks for joining us. I really enjoyed the chat.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. I truly enjoyed getting the opportunity to work with Brent and learn from him, and I appreciate his collaboration with Splunk. With end-to-end visibility of your data from edge to cloud and access to that data wherever it lies, you've now set the stage to get insight and action from that data. To talk about that journey, I'm thrilled to be joined by my colleague, Faya Peng. Welcome, Faya.
Thank you, Josh. As Josh mentioned, I'm Faya Peng, Senior Director of Product Management for Splunk Platform. And I'm so excited to share with you today how we are expanding investigation for all data, wherever it lives, and giving you increased ability to take action. As demands on your organization grow, you want a data platform that evolves so that you can get the answers that you need. Here at Splunk, we brought you a powerful search to make your investigations possible. That search is getting more robust, faster, and is being reimagined for what's next. We are excited to share that we are developing a new search experience, which is available in preview. It includes a more powerful user experience for both the advanced and casual user alike. Don't miss the breakout session to learn more. We are also excited to introduce the Victoria experience, which offers greater scalability and performance. The new experience is available in a rolling fashion for Splunk Cloud customers. Currently, 45% of customers have access, with many more coming soon. Additionally, we released Federated Search earlier this year and are excited to share that it continues to expand your reach across your data, wherever it lives, making Splunk Search more robust than ever. Let's take a closer look at each of these search innovations. In our new search experience, we are streamlining the data to insight workflow for investigative and analytical use cases. This experience offers multi-statement search, which will allow you to create, debug, and manage multiple branching searches and statistics within one window. Say bye-bye to those 30 open browser tabs. With the bidirectional low-code option, you can explore and analyze your data through point-and-click interactions that simultaneously write the SPL2 queries for you. And you can also use our new integrated charting capability to spin off multiple charts from your searches and easily save them to a dashboard. This preview is just getting started, so please share with us your thoughts and feedback as we continue to iterate on it for you. With the Victoria experience in Splunk Cloud, customers gain the ability to dynamically scale from low gigabytes to greater than 1 petabyte per day in ingest volume, access instant value from greater than 99% self-service installable apps, and burst for high-traffic scenarios with workload pricing. Victoria Experience is currently available for 45% of our cloud customers and growing every day, giving users the ability to truly scale and customize for their unique needs. Now, let's take a closer look at federated search across multiple Splunk deployments. Many of our customers are dealing with this scenario for a variety of reasons. For example, during a merger, one company acquires another, resulting in split deployments. Or one company may have different deployments for different organizations within their business or geography. Wherever your data is, you can access it from one search bar. Let's consider a company with 2 different deployments, one on-prem and one in the cloud, both with weblog data flowing into them. What if we want to execute a search to retrieve data across both? Let's take a look at what's now possible with federated search. Here, we have 2 deployments. Let's start with the on-prem one. You can see that it has 3 indexer nodes, IDX 1 through 3. We also have a remote cloud deployment with 3 different indexers. First, let's search our on-prem deployment. You can see that it returns events from our 3 indexer hosts. Again, IDX 1 through 3. Now, let's take a look at what happens with a federated search. To be able to run a federated search, first we have to set up the configuration of our on-prem deployment. We'll use transparent mode to connect our remote Splunk Cloud deployment. Now that I have federated search configured, I'm going to execute that exact same search as before. And we can see the results are coming from all 6 hosts. Just like that, I'm able to search across both on-prem and cloud deployments from one search bar. Federated search connects the previously unconnected on-prem and cloud clusters, making it possible to investigate data across diverse hybrid architectures. In addition to advancements in search, we know that having relevant, actionable data at your fingertips is what can set your company apart from the rest. In that vein, we are also making it easier for you to share compelling insights and take action from anywhere. Splunk Dashboard Studio is our new dashboarding framework, released earlier this year and recently enhanced in both Splunk Cloud Platform and Splunk Enterprise. With Dashboard Studio, you can easily build visually compelling dashboards that tell even your most complex data stories. Dashboard Studio empowers more users to create dashboards through a streamlined editing experience and fully customizable formats. Once you've built visually compelling dashboards, you want to make sure they're available to everyone who needs to see them. This is especially important for those of you who are on the go, or these days are literally located anywhere. With Splunk TV and Splunk mobile support for Dashboard Studio, you can now view your newest dashboards up on the wall or in the palm of your hand. Let's take a quick look at what's possible with Dashboard Studio. Today, we will use Dashboard Studio to create a compelling view of sensor data at one of our data centers. Dashboard Studio offers a new creative workspace, flexible layout, and an easy drag-and-drop interface. With Dashboard Studio, I can overlay custom images with data to tell a compelling story. I'll start by pulling in a schematic of our data center to serve as the backbone of our data. This will help users find meaningful insights more easily. I've already added some standard visualizations onto this dashboard. Now, let's overlay more data to give the facilities manager an intuitive way to monitor the space. With the standard visualizations, I have a variety of options to customize for my audience without requiring any custom development. For the single value, I have an array of options to specify dynamic ranges and colors. I can also define the placement, the size, and other options from within the UI to help me tell a compelling story. With some final touches for the remaining KPIs, I've now built a highly visual dashboard without any custom development that I can now share with my technical and business colleagues. Dashboard Studio and mobile support resulted from many deep conversations with customers on what they need to tell their data stories. We are happy to share that many customers are already finding success with Dashboard Studio. A great example is Sapura Navigação, one of our Brazilian customers that specializes in subsea services, who have found Dashboard Studio to be game-changing. With it, they can easily visualize even the most complex technical processes using rich, interactive dashboards that any user on their team can build, maintain, and take action on. Sapura's story using Dashboard Studio is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to customization. At the platform level of Splunk, we make all aspects customizable so that you can use Splunk for your unique needs. Admins. You play one of the biggest roles when it comes to that customization. We are redefining the admin experience, making it easier and faster to deploy, manage, and thrive with Splunk, whether you're managing in the cloud, on-prem, or both. I'm excited to share with you today improvements to the Splunk operator for Kubernetes. Admins love this capability due to the ease with which you can bring up a single instance in 10 seconds, bring up a distributed environment in a matter of minutes, and using only 2 commands, scale out your cluster. We are now introducing enhanced app administration and end-to-end automation of app installation, smooth updates without restarts, more secure delivery with S3, and compatibility with enterprise security. Let's take a look at how to get started. Diving into the system, here we have a small Kubernetes cluster with no pods currently running. We'll go over to the operator GitHub page and grab the install string. This will install the Splunk custom resources I need on my cluster. You can see the operator pod is now running. Now I'll create a single instance Splunk deployment called S1. And we can see that the Splunk pod is creating and will be ready soon. Finally, we'll need to grab the Splunk admin password from the Kubernetes secret to log into Splunk Web. Next, we'll build a distributed Splunk deployment using the operator. First, we'll patch the admin password to a value of our choice and add a Splunk license. We'll use an example from the operator GitHub page as our starting point to create a C3 Splunk validated architecture deployment. That's a search cluster talking to an indexer cluster, and in our case, each having 3 Splunk nodes. Once we apply our operator YAML file, we'll see the Splunk custom resources get created and start to see our Splunk pods coming up. Once our Splunk cluster is up and running, we can now log into the Splunk Web UI. And we can verify that we're seeing all the Splunk hosts we expect as part of our C3 Splunk validated architecture. We can also see the monitoring console pod has all of the Splunk hosts automatically configured in its asset table. These will automatically change as we add and remove hosts from the cluster. Next, we want to show how easy it is to scale up our Splunk cluster. Before we do that, let's verify we have 3 search heads and 3 indexers. We can patch the indexer and search head cluster replicas to 4 and verify that 2 new pods have been created and will soon be ready to receive traffic. Finally, to watch in real time the logs generated by the operator pod as it brings Splunk instances online, we can tail the pod in My Terminal. But that's not very fun when we have the power of Splunk. In this case, we'll send the operator logs back to the cluster we just created, allowing us to observe and troubleshoot our Splunk deployment on Kubernetes. Many customers are taking advantage of the speed and automation that Splunk Operator for Kubernetes brings. AT&T has let us know that their team has reduced monthly organization costs by over 30%. They can now rapidly deploy and scale Splunk, shortening the time to set up a cluster from days to minutes. Similar to our effort to speed up deployment and management, we are committed to providing streamlined and easy extensibility within Splunk. With Splunk, if you can imagine it, you can build it. And the best place to get started is Splunkbase. Splunkbase provides out-of-the-box, plug-and-play solutions to quickly customize and extend Splunk. We also have robust developer toolkits for the last mile. Today, we are excited to announce a redesigned Splunkbase experience. It is now easier than ever to quickly find new ways to use and extend Splunk with enhanced categories, as well as curated collections of purpose-built apps for a variety of use cases. Let's take a look at the new, more discoverable and usable experience now. You can access this preview from the current Splunkbase site, with the ability to toggle between the new and current experience as it continues to improve. To improve discovery of apps, we have added the new Collections option in the top navigation, in addition to the ability to see all apps by category. This redesign also leverages a new, faster global app search, now with autocomplete. In addition, search results show up with improved filters and clear app tile information to help you find the right apps more easily. Collections are the highlight of this release. They are a curated grouping of apps across Splunkbase, grouped to provide an outcome or showcase ways to extend Splunk. Explore the Splunkbase preview today, and we welcome feedback as we continue to improve your app experience. Customers and partners alike appreciate the extensibility of the Splunk platform. Daniel Radke from the Deloitte Advisory Cybersecurity Risk Services team shared with us that the platform is so flexible and extensible and open that they've used it as a platform to develop many solutions to complex problems. Splunkbase is the place to get started on customizing Splunk for you. I am so thrilled to share these platform innovations with you today, but there's so much more to experience at Conf this year. I encourage you to dive into the platform and developer tracks and get hands-on with each new capability in our app showcase for product demonstrations. Josh and I are extremely grateful for your time. Please enjoy all that .conf has to offer and get in touch with your Splunk team soon.